And from here, this is the spreadsheet that you're going to be finding in Google Classroom. Now, we've already got the information entered. Hopefully, when you go in, you'll know how to save it and rename it. You've got to save it, guided practice, and put your name. If you just copy it over and mess up the master copy, then everybody's going to have to take the time to retype all this. So please follow the steps and do it correctly. The first thing it tells us to do is a fill series. So over here in column A, it tells us to highlight A4 through A29. From here, we're going over, let me move my picture a little bit, into the edit menu. And under fill, we're going to click on fill, series. It's already filled in for us. We just click OK. All right. Next, it says insert a new column, column E, in front of hours worked. So if I click on E, it highlights the whole column. I come over here in the cells and click on insert, and it'll insert a whole row for me. I type the words overtime, rate. Well, the cool thing is if I got a typo, I can't hear anyone going, you did it wrong. Anyway, here we go. Okay, so in cell E4, we're going to type hourly rate. So they're telling us hourly rate times 1.5. So it's going to be equals. I can click on D4 times, which is the asterisk on the numeric keypad, 1.5, and press enter. To copy this down, I come over and get the black plus. Remember, the white plus is just going to copy the information. The little black plus is going to copy all this down, and you've got your formulas in any cell that you click on, okay? All right. Insert a new column in front of G, so I'm going to hit on G, say insert, and they want me to name this overtime hours. Again, I'm going to insert a column, so I come back over, highlight G, insert, and this time we're going to put regular hours. Yeah, I know I did it wrong. You can't tell me. Anyway, all right, in column F. All right, column F, we have hours worked. It's wanting us to change the occurrences, but before we change anything, we have to highlight it. So I'm going to highlight F4 through F29. I'm going to come over here where it says find and select. I want to find all the occurrences. When it says find what, I want 40. When it says replace with, I want 45. And then I'm going to say replace all. It's going to tell me there's 14. I'm going to say OK and close. If you look over here, all my 40s changed to 45. All right. In G4, which is regular hours, I want to enter a formula, an if statement that will calculate the amount of regular hours and fill down the function in the remaining cells. It actually gives you the formula here. All you got to do is copy it. So equals if parentheses. Equals if what's in cell F4 is less than or equal to 40, then I'm going to put what's in cell F4 if it's true. I'm going to put 40 if it's false. This is the if statements that we worked on in a couple of classes ago. Again, to copy it down, the black plus sign, and it figures the thing for you for the whole column. And the next one, I want the overtime hours. So in H4, I'm going to enter a formula that will calculate the amount of overtime hours worked, and again, I'm going to fill that down. So equals if, parentheses, and again, this is on your worksheet, what's in cell F4 is greater than 40. I'm going to put what's in cell F4 minus 40 if it's true, and 0 if it's false. Press enter, and it will tell me if I've worked overtime, how many hours of overtime I've worked. Okay? In I4, under regular pay, we want hourly rate times regular hours. So to get that, I say equals D4, which is my hourly rate, times, which is the asterisk, G4, which is my regular hours. Press enter. I'm going to copy this down. Now, if you're reading the instructions, it also says that I need to format this as currency. Remember, I can come up and click on the dollar sign, or if I want the dollars beside my number, I can right-click, go to Format Cells, as currency, 2 decimal points, a dollar sign, and OK. I'm not going to mark you down either way. I just want you to know both ways of how to do this. I will be using the Format Cells. You can do it whichever way you find easier. I just need you to know both ways. In J3, I'm going to type overtime pay. All right. Then it wants me in J4 to enter a formula that will find overpay rate times overtime hours. So I'm going to say equals E4 times is my asterisk, H4, press enter. Black plus sign, copy it down, and there you go. Again, I have to format this as currency, 2 decimal points and a dollar sign. All right, whichever form you decide to use, make it consistent throughout. All right, K3, I want to type gross pay. All right, I'm going to calculate the gross pay by saying equals I4 plus J4. And again, you can find that on your numeric keypad. If you're using the laptop, it's the shift key and the plus sign. All right. Copy it down. Now, anyone remember what this means? Okay. I know you can't hear me and I can't hear you, but it basically means my column is too narrow. So if I double click, it makes my column narrow so I can see the numbers. All right. In A31, we had the word total. They want us to bold that. And then they want us to come in and do an auto sum for regular pay, overtime pay, and gross pay. So in cell I31, I'm going to click on auto sum and press enter. I don't have to do that again. I can just copy it over. Again, I get the pound sign. So I'm going to double click on my columns to widen them so I can see my numbers. All right. A32 is averages. The word's already there, so you just need to bold it. And now they want you to find the average for hourly rate, overtime rate, hours worked, and gross pay. I'm going to come in cell D32, and instead of doing auto sum, I'm going to click this little arrow, click on average, and press enter. Again, I can copy this over. Now, I have to do something different here. If I come in and say equals average here, it's going to add in this total. So I have to go in manually and do this one. So I say equals average, parenthesis, and I'm going to highlight from K4 all the way down to K29 and press enter. So you can see this and you can watch this in the video again. Your formula is up here. On these, I was able to do the auto average. Here I had to manually enter it so it would not include those totals. Now one more step in the instructions, I need to make this one a 1 decimal point. So I can right click, I can go to format cells as a number and say 1 decimal point and say okay. I could have also have come up here and clicked the decrease decimal button here. All right, so these are your speed icons up here. All righty. We've done that. Now we want to go to cell L3 and enter the word FICA. FICA stands for the taxes that they use for our income. All right. In L4, I need you to change the formula on your worksheet. Your worksheet says equals L4. It should say equals K4. So I'm going to say equals K4 times, which is the asterisk, 0.0725, press enter. This is my FICA taxes. Now what do you see wrong in this very first one? This very first one has too many decimal points. I can just take care of the whole thing at one time. I can go to format cells, 2 decimal points and a dollar sign, and it can correct it, or I could have done it in just that one cell. But I just need you to know how to fix that if that should happen on yours. In M3, type net pay. Okay, in M4, we have another formula here. We need to find out our gross pay, so we need to say equals gross pay, which is K4, minus, which is on your numeric keypad, L4, which is our taxes. Press enter, copy it down. All right, again, we need to widen our columns so we can see our numbers. All right. Sort the spreadsheet alphabetically by employee using the data menu. Before I can sort, I need to highlight what I want to sort. So I'm going to highlight from A4 all the way over to M and down to M29. Okay, right here I have my sort and filter. Click on A to Z, and when it sorts, you've got Eddie Barnes up here at the top. Okay, so now it's in alphabetical order by the names. All right, then it says, is the title centered across the entire selection? Well, it's only centered across I because that's the only columns we have when we started. So to get this fixed, we have to remove it and then redo it. So I'm going to highlight where I want it to be. I'm going to remove the Merging Center, and I'm going to put the Merging Center back on. We have a new classmate here. This is Baloo. He wanted to come in and get involved. Say hello, Baloo. Say hello, Baloo. Okay, go play. All right, so that's Baloo. He's sitting here trying to get my attention while I'm working with you guys. All righty. So are all the column headings in bold and centered? I actually set that up for you in the next activity. I'm going to show you how to do that on your own, but it should all be done for you because I set that up as a whole row before we did this whole thing. Our columns I through M set for currency. If you look, I through M are all currency. Our columns D through E set to 2 decimal points. Yes, they are. Our columns F through H, all the way down to this one, set to 1 decimal point. They are. Did you set grid lines over the entire spreadsheet except for the average and total lines? This is what you're going to do. You're going to highlight from A1 all the way down to M29. I don't want grid lines down here. In your font box, you go to all borders, and when I click off of it, I have grid lines here. Now there is a way to print that you show grid lines for everything, but on this activity, you just want it in rows and columns A through 29, all right? A1 through M29. Save and submit your work according to the teacher's direction. What I want you to do is set your print area. So we say page layout, print area, set the print area. And you'll notice the little dotted line, it goes to 2 pages. So under orientation, we're going to change it to landscape. We also need to have our name in the header. Guys, I need to print these. So, okay, my mind went blank. Headings back, home, insert, header, footer. Just type your name. To get out of this, you just click out of the cell, go to View, click on any cell, and Normal View, and that's how you get back. I still have a dotted line. You can double click to shrink things down, whatever you need to do. If it doesn't go back and see here, you need to manually move it so that that E shows up. If it's still over here, it's not going to matter on today's assignment because you're going to upload this to Google Classroom and I'm going to print it from my end. So I will adjust this if it's not, but I just need you to be aware that if that dotted line is there, you're going over to 2 pages. You're not worried about doing formulas because when I check it on my end, I will be able to check and see if you used formulas. So please do not just put the answers in. I want to remind you, you can view the video, you can pause it, you can replay it, and then if you need help, there's a couple of people around the class, after they finish their work, they're able to help. Helpers, remember, you are not doing the work for them, you are just assisting them, okay? A couple of things that they want us to do with you guys, they want us to teach you how to problem solve, and they want us to teach you how to collaborate, which means working together. So I'm trusting that you guys are doing a good job and that you're helping out Miss Dudley in the best way you can. All right, I'm going to stop the video now, and you can replay it as you need to.